Hey guys, thought you might like to see my face this time. We're going to be working on lesson 1 in chapter 2, which is decimals and fractions. Our only vocabulary word is rational number. A rational number is, don't forget to make this a question. A rational number is any number that can be put into a fraction. So any number you can write as a fraction is a rational number. All right. So first thing we're going to do is how do you change a decimal to a fraction? So I'm starting off with 0.45, which I'm going to read or say out loud to myself as 45 hundredths. Now turning it into a fraction is really easy because I already have my answers here. 45 is my numerator. Hundredths is my denominator. So I have 45 over 100. And then I simplify. With any fraction, I always simplify. So I have 45 over 100. And what can I divide both top and bottom by to make a smaller fraction? Okay, I can divide by 5. So I'm going to divide the top and the bottom because what I do to the top, I do to the bottom. 45 divided by 5 is 9. 100 divided by 5 is 20. Is there anything I can divide 9 and 20 by in order to make a smaller fraction? No, there is not. 9/20 is my smallest fraction because 9 is only divisible by 3 and itself, and 3 and 9 don't go into 20. Okay, let's turn 0.375 to a decimal. All right, so I have 0.375. I'm going to say that number out loud. And that is 375 thousandths. Okay, again, numerator, denominator. So 375 over 1,000. And as always, I simplify. So what can I divide 375 and 1,000 by? I can do 5, but that'll take me forever. And I see 75 right here, and I know that I can do quarters. So I'm going to divide them both by 25 and see where I get. All right, so 25 can go into 37 one time, and then I have 12 left over. So 125. 25 goes into 125 5 times. So it's 15. 25 can go into 100 4 times, and then I add a 0. So I have 15 over 40. Can I make that fraction smaller? Why, yes, Miss Fernley, we can. We can divide by 5. All right, 15 divided by 5 is 3. 40 divided by 5 is 8. 3 is a prime number, and it doesn't go into 8. Therefore, that is my smallest fraction. But wait, Miss Fernley, what if there's a whole number in my answer or in my decimal? Well, I will tell you. All right, so if we have a whole number in my decimal, so let's say I want to turn 9.85 into a decimal. All right. Oh my gosh, this is my surprise face. All right, so I'm going to read this number as 9 and, right, my decimal tells me and 85 hundredths. So I'm just going to write it just like that. My 9 stays whole. So 9, and then 85 is my numerator, hundredths is my denominator. So we have 9 and 85 over 100. I want to make my 9 in the middle or super big so I know that it's not 985 over 100. And then, of course, I'm going to simplify 85 over 100 by dividing by 5 first. We'll see where we go. So 85 divided by 5, 5 goes into 8 one time. Carry the 3. I have 35. 5 goes into 35 7 times. 5 goes into 10 2 times. I have an extra 0. I have 17 over 20. Can I make that any smaller? No, Miss Fernley. Why, kids? Because 17 is a prime number and it doesn't go into 20. So 19 and 7/20 is my smallest fraction. All right, so those are pretty easy. Let's move my face up a little bit. Now we're going to go backwards and we're going to take fractions and turn them into decimals. So how do I, and you can fill in the blanks. So I have 7/10. This one should be easy peasy, smiley face, because I have a tenths already in my fraction. So anytime I have a 10 or 100 or 1,000, I know that it's tenths, hundredths, or thousands. And if I can remember my place value, let's draw a little place value chart over here. So let's say this is my decimal. So this is ones. This is tenths. This is hundredths, so on and so forth. All right, so I know if I have 7/10, because that's what I'm going to read that as, 7/10, I'm going to put my 7 in the tenths column. Therefore, I will get 0.7. And both of these now say 7/10. That is so easy, Miss Fernley. I can't believe you're making us do something so easy. Okay, what if we have a problem that is not have a tenths or a hundredths or a thousandths in it? What are we going to do with that? All right, so here's what we do. Let's say I have 9/12. I'm going to draw another surprise face because I'm shocked. 12 doesn't go into 10, 100, or 1,000. Now what do? Well, I could divide this top and bottom by a number and then multiply it by a different number to try to get to 100 or 1,000 or 10, but that's really kind of difficult and I don't like to do it that way. So I'm going to teach you the easier way and you should be fine. All right, so in this case, we're just going to divide. Remember that the line in a fraction means divide. And when I see that, I've got a fraction. So the numerator is actually the dividend, sorry, goes inside the house. Top number goes inside the house. Bottom number goes outside the house. So I've got 9/12. I'm going to flip it over and go 12 into 9, which I can't do evenly, but we're going to try. Can 12 go into 9? No. And in a whole number, we always know that there's a decimal right behind the whole number. So I'm going to move that up. And now I'm going to add a 0 because that doesn't change my number at all. It's still 9. So 12 can go into 90. How many times can 12 go into 90? Well, 10 can go into 99 times, so I'm going to say 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8, that's 96, that's too high. So it's got to be 7. So 12 times 7, if you know your multiples, is 84. Okay, 10 minus 4 is 6. And then I'm going to add another 0 because it still doesn't change the number. I still got 9. 12 goes into 60 5 times. 12 minus 5, or 12 times 5 is 60. 60 minus 60 is 0. So my answer then is 0.75. Not too hard, huh? All right, let's do some examples. All right, let's change 0.64 to a fraction. So I have 0.64, which reads 64 hundredths. So in my place value chart, I have the decimal and then 6 and a 4. So my answer then is 0.64. So cool. Oh, I was supposed to put it to a fraction. Dumb. Okay, so 64 over 100, right? Remember, this is numerator, denominator. 64 over 100. I got to simplify that because if not, your teacher's going to get mad at you. 64 divided by 4 is 16. 100 divided by 4 is 25. Let's see. 8 can't go into 25, 2 can't go into 25, and 4 can't go into 25, and 16 can't go into 25. So that is my smallest fraction. All right, let's do another page if I can. Okay, so let's turn 2.75 to a fraction. So I have 2 and 75 hundredths. Remember, the 2 stays whole. 75 is my numerator, hundredths is my denominator. I can divide 75 and 100 by 25, and I get 3/4. So my answer is 2 and 3/4. All right, 25 or 27 over 75 as a decimal. Okay, so I do not have a multiple of 10 here. So what am I going to do? Divide. Okay, 21 goes in the house, 75 goes outside of the house. Can 75 go into 21? No, it cannot. So I'm going to put a decimal here, move my decimal up, add a 0, and 75 into 210. So 75 into 210, let's try 3 times. 5 times 3 is 15. 7 times 3 is 21, plus a 1 is 22, so that's too much. So it's got to be 2. 75 times 2 is 150. Okay, 1 minus 5, can't do it, so I'm going to borrow. 11 minus 5 is 60. Okay, I'm going to bring down my 0. 75 plus 75 is 150. Let's go 75 times 8. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 7 is 56. 57, 58, 59, 60. Oh, I have exactly 600. 600 minus 600 is 0. So my answer is 0.28. Not super hard. Okay, let's do one more. All right, last one. So I have 3 1/5 to a decimal. My 3 stays whole. Okay, so that stays whole. And then 1/5. Now I gotta go 1/5 and figure out what the decimal would be. So I'm gonna go 1 divided by 5. 5 goes into 1 0 times. Decimal comes up. Okay, 5 goes into 10 2 times. So I have 0.